Travelpos Radio and ready for another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at Silent Confession. You guys sent this in, and I gotta say, it's been on repeat ever since. Just something about the way it blends like blues and lo-fi, and then throws in some Korean drama feels on top of that.
It really is a unique mix. Like, how often do you see a song pulling from the Mississippi Delta, bedroom studios, and, K-dramas all at once?
It's wild, right? And yet, it totally works. So for those of us who, say, maybe only know the blues from, like, the Robert Johnson classics, what's the biggest surprise Silent Confession throws at you?
Probably the overall sound. I mean, you definitely get those bluesy guitar riffs and that soulful vibe, but it's all presented in this, like, hazy, almost dreamy way. That's the lo-fi influence coming through. It creates this kind of, like, nostalgic and intimate feeling.
So like a modern take on that classic blues sound.
Exactly. But then you add the Korean drama element.
Okay, so how does that even work? It's not like you're hearing traditional Korean instruments or anything, right?
No, it's way more subtle. Think of it more like the song's themes and the way the story unfolds. Like those classic K-drama tropes, unspoken feelings, longing glances, hearts torn between duty and desire. That's the emotional landscape Silent Confession is painting.
And then, to top it all off, there's that Korean chorus. That's a curveball. So what does that do to the overall feel?
Honestly, that's where things get super interesting. It's like, even if you don't understand the words, you still feel the weight of them. It's all in the delivery, the tone, the raw emotion that transcends language. And in a way, that connects back to the core of blues music expressing those raw emotions.
So adding that Korean layer actually deepens the feeling, even if you don't understand the words.
Yeah, kind of like another layer of mystery and intrigue. And then the way it's produced adds to the whole mood. Those lo-fi elements with their warm, kind of fuzzy sound, they bring this intimacy, like someone pouring their heart out in a dimly lit cafe.
And speaking of pouring their heart out, let's get into those lyrics. The song starts with, "I watch you from across the room, a fleeting glance, a hidden truth." I mean, boom, you're right in the thick of this unspoken longing. But is this just another heartbreak song, or is there more to it?
I think it goes deeper than heartbreak. It's about that, like, universal desire to express yourself, connect with someone, but being held back maybe by fear, maybe uncertainty, that tension between holding on and letting go.
And you can hear that tension in how the music builds. Like,
right.
You get these quiet, almost whispered moments, and then it explodes into these huge choruses where it's like the singer's finally finding their voice.
Exactly. It's a push and pull between being vulnerable and finding strength. Both the lyrics and the music mirror that.
But, this song is called Silent Confession. Does that voice ever actually break through? Do they ever say those feelings out loud?
Well, that's the question that sticks with you, isn't it? And that's what's so great about this song. It leaves you wanting more, wondering what happens next, like a musical cliffhanger.
Yeah, for sure. So why do you think this song resonates so strongly with people? There's got to be a reason it's hitting so hard.
I think it's because we've all been there. We all have something we want to say, but hold back. For whatever reason. Silent Confession gives a voice to those unspoken feelings, those things we keep tucked away.
Like it's holding up a mirror to all of us. And maybe that's why it feels so good to listen to, even if it doesn't offer any simple answers.
Exactly. It lets you experience those emotions in a safe way, see the complexities of human connection without any judgment.
Okay, so we've talked about the blues influence, the lo-fi vibe, the whole Korean drama thing. How do these seemingly totally different pieces come together to make something that feels so whole?
I think it shows the skill of the artist, taking all these different influences, weaving them into a sonic tapestry that's both familiar and new. It's like they've made a new language out of sounds we already know.
So like they cracked the code to musical alchemy.
Yeah, something like that. They blended it all in a way that makes sense, but also makes the emotions even stronger.
It's like one of those dishes where you throw in all these different flavors and spices, and it ends up being something more than just the ingredients themselves. But what about the actual musical nuts and bolts of it?
Oh, well, now we're going even deeper. And believe me, there's a lot more to uncover in Silent Confession. We haven't even gotten to the instruments, the vocals, the way it's all produced. Those are all crucial in creating this experience.
You're right, this song has layers. And luckily, we've got a whole deep dive to explore them all. So buckle up, everyone, because we're just getting started.
All right, welcome back to our deep dive into Silent Confession. We've been peeling back the layers of this song, and I'm really excited to dig into how the actual musical choices help create that atmosphere, that feeling you get when you listen.
Yeah, we talked about the big influences, but let's zoom in on those sonic details, like the instrumentation, for example. It's described as lo-fi blues, smooth harmonies, soulful, energetic anthem. That's quite a combo.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But each of those pieces actually points to something specific that shapes how you experience the song. Like, take that soulful, energetic anthem part. You hear it in the choruses, right? Everything gets bigger. There's this driving beat that pushes you forward. It's like you can almost feel the protagonist's inner struggle coming through.
So it's like they're breaking out of those quiet confessions and just letting those emotions loose.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got that lo-fi blues side, and this is where things get really interesting. Instead of just using like traditional blues instruments, the artist throws in stuff like sampled drums, vinyl crackle, those warm, almost distorted sounds that lo-fi is known for.
So it's like taking that raw blues power,
Yeah.
but giving it this modern spin, I don't know, almost like seeing a really old painting, like a classic, but through an Instagram filter. Same picture, but with a whole new look and meaning.
That's a great way to put it. And that's what makes this song so catchy. It's got that familiarity of blues, but mixed with those unexpected lo-fi elements. Creates a sound that's both nostalgic and fresh at the same time.
And what about those smooth harmonies we talked about earlier? How do they fit into all of this?
Oh, they're key to setting the mood. You've got these layered vocals, sometimes together, sometimes in harmony. It adds this richness, this depth, like a warm blanket that pulls you into that intimate space where this confession is happening.
It's funny because you usually think of blues as having that raw, stripped-down sound, but here, the smooth harmonies add something, I don't know, almost sophisticated, and take it to a whole other level.
Definitely. And that's one of the things that sets Silent Confession apart from like your typical blues song. It's a fusion, an evolution. Taking those core elements of blues and reinterpreting them for today.
You said earlier the song makes you feel like you're eavesdropping on a private moment. What are the musical tricks that make you feel that way?
Well, there are a few things happening. One is the dynamics, the way it shifts between quiet, thoughtful parts and then those big anthemic choruses. It's like the music is breathing right along with the protagonist's emotions.
Yeah, those quiet parts really draw you in. Like the song is leaning in to tell you a secret, and you can't help but lean in too.
And then there's the use of space, of silence. The song isn't afraid to let things breathe, to create those pauses where you can really absorb what's being said.
It's kind of like those pauses in a movie, right? Where you know something's about to happen and you're just waiting for it.
Exactly. That anticipation builds as the song slowly gets more intense, layer by layer, and then boom, it hits you with that chorus.
And then pulls back again, leaving you with that lingering feeling. It's like it's telling a story with the music itself.
It really is, and I think that's ultimately what makes Silent Confession work so well. It's not just sounds, it's a story told through music. Every element is chosen to make you feel something.
So the music is like a character in itself, helping us understand what the protagonist is going through.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes it stand out. It's not just about the melody or the words, but about how everything comes together to create this immersive experience.
We've covered the blues, lo-fi, and Korean influences, the instruments, harmonies, dynamics. I mean, this song has so much going on. But, there's one thing we haven't talked about yet, something that adds a whole new dimension to Silent Confession.
Oh, and what's that?
Well, aside from the music, Silent Confession has a really stunning music video. And I think we need to talk about how those visuals enhance and kind of expand on what the song is saying.
You're absolutely right. It's not just an add-on, it's a visual companion piece that brings those themes and emotions to life in a whole new way.
And I think that's where we should pick up in part 3 of our deep dive. We're going to move from sounds to sights and see how the music video completes the story of Silent Confession. Welcome back to the deep dive, everyone. We've really been going deep on Silent Confession, haven't we? Exploring that cool mix of blues, lo-fi, and, those Korean drama vibes.
It's amazing how it brings together sounds and feelings from all these different places, and now we get to see how the music video adds even more to the story.
I'm always curious about music videos. Sometimes they feel like they're just kind of there, but with this one, it feels like a natural part of the song.
Yeah, it doesn't just tell its own separate story. It, takes the themes and emotions from the music and turns the volume up,
So let's talk about what we actually see. It starts in a city at night, all those neon lights, crowds everywhere.
Right away, you get this feeling of being lost, being just one face in the crowd, which Kind of matches how the main character feels, I think, surrounded by people but feeling totally alone with this secret.
And then we see her, right? Our protagonist, this young woman with like the most expressive face. And she's not just walking through the city, it's like she's floating, lost in her thoughts.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful way to show that inner battle, wanting to connect with someone but not being able to say how you feel.
And then there are those glimpses of the person she's in love with. Always these quick moments, a look on the bus, a quick meeting in a cafe.
Exactly. And those moments are so powerful because they never really fully happen. It's all about that longing, you know, that wanting something you can't quite reach.
And the way they film those scenes with that soft focus, slow motion, and kind of muted colors, it makes you feel even more of that sadness.
It's like even the way it looks is whispering, just like the confession itself. Everything's really subtle and held back, reflecting how the lyrics are too.
But then it changes, doesn't it? When the song builds up to that chorus, the video changes too.
Oh yeah, totally. It's like the characters' feelings are starting to break free, the colors get brighter, the cuts happen faster, the camera moves more. Like you can see that energy building up.
And the symbolism is really interesting. There are a lot of mirrors and reflections, almost like she's trying to see herself, to understand what she's feeling.
Yeah, those are so powerful because everyone's felt that way, you know, that not knowing who you are. Those broken reflections show how broken she feels inside.
Then there's that rooftop scene with the city lights in the background. It's like a moment of clarity, of finding the courage to say what she needs to say.
That's a powerful shot. It's like those city lights are all the possibilities that open up when you finally speak your truth. You know, it shows hope, like moving towards something brighter.
But the video ends on this uncertain note, just like the song. We never know if she actually tells him how she feels, if he feels the same way.
And that's what makes it so great. You're left wondering, thinking about all the different ways the story could go.
So it's like the video is asking you, the viewer, what you would do. How would you handle those feelings?
Yeah, it makes you think about your own experiences with love, with wanting someone, with being brave enough to be vulnerable.
We've gone through the music, the words, the production, and now the music video. Silent Confession really works on so many levels.
It shows how creative the artist is and how powerful it can be to bring different kinds of art together. They made something special, something that really touches you.
Well, everyone, this is the end of our deep dive into Silent Confession. We hope you enjoyed the journey.
And if this got you curious, check out the full song and the music video. We'll put the links down below.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Travelpos Radio for more deep dives like this.
Let us know in the comments what you thought about Silent Confession and what other songs we should explore.
Until next time, keep those headphones on and keep those hearts open.
See you later.
말할 수 없었어 내 마음 깊이 숨겨왔던 진심 오랜 시간